What is going on, everybody? Mr. Loud over here. I hope everyone is healthy. Hope everyone is doing well, and hope everyone is safe throughout this whole quarantine, stay home process. I'm gonna try to one take Drake this. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's get into it. But why don't we do another headlight restoration video? So obviously, as a small business owner, and as someone who works for myself, the objective is to try to work as much as possible, even in the midst of the stay-at-home process and quarantine. You know, I try to still stay active and still try to stay involved in the community and keep my business afloat here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and let's start discussing what we're looking at right now. So what I'm doing is obviously I am cleaning off the headlight, which I regret cleaning it before taping it off, and you'll see exactly why in a minute or so. But what I'm using is no more than just a soapy water solution. I've got about somewhere around a half ounce of car soap, a no wax. I don't have any wax soaps, obviously, but a no wax soap, and just a basic car wash soap. I've got about a half ounce to an ounce inside of a 24-ounce bottle. Fill the rest up with water, and I just shake it up, and I use that as my solution. Now, I normally wouldn't gravitate towards that naturally, but since that's what I have on hand, I still think even just using water is probably going to be more beneficial than using some type of car soap. And you'll see why, because as the car soap foams up when agitated, kind of tends to dry out a little bit quicker than just standard water would. But I got 1500 grit sandpaper here connecting it to my drill bit, which is obviously connected to my drill, and I'm spraying the soapy water on the headlight, and I'm going at it. You see, as you know, it doesn't look too bad, but what you can't pick up, which really makes a big deal, is normally I have an interface pad, which is maybe about a 1/4 inch cushion that I put on the backing plate, and I attach the sandpaper to that interface pad, and it really allows for a much smoother process. It allows for a much smoother sanding experience. I kind of noticed here without the interface pad, it's kind of fighting me a little bit, and I find myself having to put a little bit more strain on the drill as I am trying to get everything done. It's still working magnificently. It's not as convenient. The user experience isn't as great as it normally would be, but you'll see when we hit the next sanding process, it'll be much better. And so I'm kind of checking my work, as you always want to do when you are working on headlights. Look, water and soap solution, all that, it's so easy to come across it, guys. Don't feel like you're wasting product just because you keep on wiping away. When it comes to headlights, you want to check, and recheck, because the more you check your work, the more you're able to pick up on things that you might have left behind. Is there a high spot or a spot that still has a lot of heavy oxidation that I need to hit again? And the quicker I see it, the quicker I can assess it. And so there's nothing wrong with over checking your work. Now, of course, as a business, you want to make sure that you are not wasting time. You are not being negligent with your time. You want to remain profitable and keep yourself even motivated to continue doing this. So don't overboard, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with doing a lot of checking when it comes to checking your work. The way I do headlights is I will kind of section off the headlights in twos. I kind of do half the headlight first, then the other half next when it comes to the sanding steps, as well as the polishing, you'll notice. And the reason why is because in my mind, I'm able to easily assess everything. I like to compartmentalize things when it comes to working. I think that's just kind of the mind of a detailer. There's detailers that don't like to do that because they just want to get it all and done. And yeah, in the compounding and polishing steps, I kind of sort of, I guess, do it a little bit less. But especially when it comes to sanding, especially when it comes to this part, which is very, very, you want to make sure that you're effective, and you want to make sure that you are, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to make sure that you are doing everything necessary, because the prep steps when it comes to headlight restoration is extremely, extremely necessary, and you want to make sure that you are as effective as possible, because when you have good preparation when it comes time to the compounding and polishing, It is flawless, it is smooth, and it is a great experience here. But I'm just kind of touching up on some spots that I missed behind, spots here or there that I noticed could probably use a little bit more sanding with the 1500 grit sandpaper. As you notice, this tape is really bugging me, and what I need to do is really kind of just take it off immediately, but I'm not. I got the 1500 grit sandpaper just hitting this corner real quick, because with the backing plate and the large circle backing plate, it doesn't hit into that small tight corner very well. If I try to get in there too much, I'll end up doing more scratching, and I'll put more harm to the paint even with the tape down. But you see this tape is just flying off. It's just it is just the kryptonite of the detailer. But the reason why it's doing that is because I washed, or I cleaned the headlight first, and the soapy solution kind of got in the creases and crevices and all that. But you see, I've got my 3000 grit sandpaper here, and you might want to rewind and look at it again. 3000 grit sandpaper is normally a softer pile. There's a cushion usually in between the actual backing grip and the sandpaper, but you see, because of it being softer and smoother, now I'm having a much easier sanding experience, and it's just kind of gliding across the headlight. Of course, the tape isn't doing much help there, but I'm kind of able to glide across the headlight because of the actual interface that's built into 3000 grit sandpaper. And so that's why I always recommend have an interface pad on hand. It's going to make your life so much easier. Is it 100% necessary? Well, no, but it is going to make your job easier. I already have this tape fighting me because of my stupidity. The last thing I need is to go at it, the headlight without an interface pad, just to make my life even more miserable. Oh wait, that's exactly what I did. Yay, Mr. Ladd, good for you. So I'm hitting the second half of the headlight with the 3000 grit sandpaper, and as you can see from the first half, it's already looking a lot more smooth. It's looking a lot more uniform. I'm having very uniform sanding scratches, and that is the benefit of using a drill or some type of rotary apparatus in comparison to doing it by hand. Look, you can do it by hand and be effective and get tremendous results. I used to do that all the time because I didn't want to put the money into buying a drill. But when Lowe's is selling a Black & Decker cord drill for $35, you might as well take advantage of that. And look at this headlight now. That's very uniform 3500 grit sanding scratches. And I'm going to take you in a second here after I touch up this last spot, but I'm going to take you in to kind of see how does it look after unifying or making it uniform scratches with the 3000 grit sandpaper here. I think I said 3500 grit. I don't know. I'm all over the place here, guys. But hitting the last couple corners here, but I just can't wait to take you in so you can kind of see how exactly it looks with 3000 grit sanding scratches in a uniform fashion. Really, I don't recommend leaving the car like that, but it already looks so much better. As you can see right now, it looks so much better than the way it started. The way it started, you had this oxidation, this green and orangish yellow or whatever, forming on the headlights, and now it is a uniform 3000 grit pattern here, and it looks so much better already. But we're in the game to perfect things. We want to make things look as best as possible. So what I'm doing is now I'm taking my drill with a 3-inch pad, as well as my Lat 26 compound. That's a chemical I haven't talked about in a while, my Lat 26 compound here, and we're going to go ahead and start the compounding step with this nasty 3-inch pad that literally after this headlight, this pad was destroyed. Actually, I threw it away, but that thing's probably lasted me somewhere around 10 to 15 headlights, so it did its job. It finally gave up the ghost, and everything has a lifespan, right? But I'm attacking these 3000 grit sanding scratches, and I'm so glad that I went ahead and did the 3000 grit instead of leaving it at 1500, because now it's making my compounding step, or the initial polishing step, if you want to say that, it's making it so much better. To right now, some people, as far as that first half of the headlight, well, you'll even see after I do the second portion here, but some people would go ahead and say, look, that looks fine, let's move on with life here. We got a business to run, this looks fine, protect it and get out of here. And if that's your standard, that's completely fine. Honestly, by this point, it does look good. It's nowhere close to perfect, but it does look good, especially when I wipe away the compound. You'll see that it actually looks pretty good here. But you know, once again, I already said, and I'll say it again, we are in the business to perfect things as much as possible. If I can go ahead efficiently, you know, take it to the next level, I want to do so. But already, just from compounding, look at that. That looks amazing. I am very satisfied with that, but I do want to go ahead and do a polishing step. Might as well complete the job, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take my LAT 26 fine polish as well as a soft polishing pad. Here you see that's the fine polish here. And I tell you what, this polish to work with, it is such a dream. For those of you who saw my LAT 26 unboxing videos and got a hold of the free samples, the compound, the medium compound, and the polish came in the sample kit. Look, this fine polish is a dream to work with. It finishes down so well. I don't know if it's a diminishing abrasive. I don't think it is, because these are marine products, and I think that they really formulated these products kind of with the same mentality that 3D keeps in their mindset. It's body shop. We want to whiz through panels, we want to whiz through cars, whiz through boats as quick as possible. And so I don't think this is a diminishing abrasive, but it finishes down extremely fine and very well with the right pad. And you can see right here, I haven't even removed the polish off of the headlight, and it looks so good. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this thing up, and I'm about to remove the polish. I'm just so excited to show you guys, and here we go. Look at that. That looks really good. I'm not trying to be a salesman over here, but of course you got to protect it now. So what I am doing is I am taking Dallas Paint Corrections, what is it, Shield. It's Scott's DIY ceramic coating. Lasts about a year. 2 coats last you 18 months. I did 1 coat. I mean, I did 2 coats, but I really didn't leave enough time in between. I more just did a 2nd coat to kind of touch up on any spots I may have left. But you know, I did basically a couple coats here. I'm expecting somewhere around a year protection out of it. I went ahead and applied it to the other headlight. Came back after I waited about a minute and buffed this off, and look at that. But I'm going to take you around the cars real quick. I did 2 sets of headlights here. Check out the finished work. Let me know what you think about this stuff in the comment section below. Thank you all for your love and support to the channel. I'm excited to bring out more reviews and videos, guys. Thank you so much. Take care.